Right, then let's get the latest from Rustenburg. We now cross to Ntlantla Kgatlane, who's of course in the venue for us this afternoon. I do believe, Ntlantla, that you are going to have a chat with ANC spokesperson Mabe. So over to you then.
Well, thank you so much for indeed coming to you right here from Rustenburg Civic Center with me and with the ANC's national spokesperson, Mr. Mabe. We know any moment from now the conference should have started. Mr. Mabe, talk to us about, any information with regards to the interdict that was talked about in there that, meant to prevent this conference from going ahead.
Well, we've got our legal team on site. We're sitting in the steering committee. We are prepared for anything. If there is an intention to interdict conference or approach courts, our legal team are ready to defend the African National Congress in that regard. We have already penned down what we'll be able to present to conference as a way forward. The full machinery of the National Executive Committee of the ANC has been activated to be able to run this conference and make sure that it is successful. We're hopeful that when conferences rise tomorrow, it will be having a new leadership and it will be ready to discharge its own program. You can see as we speak, delegates are trickling in. The Deputy President has already arrived. And as we have already assured you, conference is proceeding as planned.
We see that now there's some delay. We spoke earlier and you said around this time the opening should have happened.
Well, the opening is going to happen. We are busy drafting delegates inside conference. They are working into conference. Bit by bit, all of them are coming in. We were having a delay with the region of Kenneth Kaunda because of balancing of delegates to make sure that we could meet the much needed gender parity. We're quite comfortable where we're sitting now that things are moving with the necessary speed. Delegates are coming in, they will take their rightful position and will be able to move.
Do you sense, sabotage with regards to this conference, happening? We know there was an interdict. There's a talk of another interdict today. Aren't you worried as the ANC that, amongst your ranks, there are those who are disgruntled and, are trying to, you can say, shame the ANC at this very important conference of the
Well, Ntlantla, talk of an interdict and an interdict are two different things. You see, we must avoid making a legal process look so simplistic. We must never do that. That's why matters of law are ventilated in courts. If they were so simple, they could be ventilated everywhere. But, there are special places preserved for the ventilation of legal matters. The ANC, as a self-respecting organization, has got a legal department which is seized with attending such issues when they are so brought to our attention. Of course, there was a bit of a setback yesterday with a court order that says our IPC can't participate in voting. We have already put in the necessary steps to make sure that we are in compliance with that court order because we are a law-abiding organization. This court order really affects the voting status of 20 IPC members. The rest of others who are portioned the right to vote as per the constitution of the ANC will still be able to perform that right. The ANC, in terms of the relevant provisions under Rule 17, set out who votes in a conference of the ANC, including those that constitute the conference. It says 90% of delegates, at least 90% to delegates to a provincial conference must be coming from branches. Have we achieved that? Can we tick this? Yes. Over 90% of delegates in this conference come from branches. That's one. The second issue is that it sets out the second category. It sets out the second category being the Provincial Executive Committee. In the case of the Northwest, this would have been the IPC. Now, this is now the category that you are taking away that privilege. Then the third category is the REC and the leagues. Seated where we are, the IRC has already been given their own allocation, and so are the leagues. So up until we are advised otherwise, we think that we're in compliance with the court order and will allow those to participate as per the allocation that was previously done by the IPC. Remembering that this decision by the Mafikeng High Court, Northwest High Court, it's not retrospective. It is prospective. It is forward-looking. So you're not going to come back and want to undermine the work done by the IPC trying to use this. The work done by the IPC is fully recognized. Conference is going ahead through that kind of work that they've done. The democratic expression done by branches fully recognized through our own electoral commission. And we're hopeful that we'll be able to proceed with conference as planned. We're not worried. All we've said is that IRCs must go out there, marshal delegates to come in. Those that have been delayed with registration, by the time we go to the affirmation of credentials, all those that are expected to be inside plenary will be here. The Deputy President is here. We are proceeding as planned.
One last question from me. Are you intending on taking any action against those who went to court?
Well, we're no longer doing that. Actually, you will see in the past few years, we have no longer do, because we said, okay, perhaps these cadres are aggrieved. What lessons can we draw out of the outcomes of court? And then we use those things where we can to reinforce ANC processes to make sure that they are foolproof. The NDRC is one such a process.
Thank you so much, Mr. Marvin. Flo, with me, I have one of the contenders here, Ms. Kinetswe Mosenugi. It's about to happen. Are you confident?
No, I'm very confident and pleased to finally be here, especially having served as the member of the interim provincial executive committee, and that finally that we have delivered on our mandate to deliver a provincial conference of the ANC, and that branches across the length and breadth of the province have expressed themselves, and they are here finally to elect their own leaders who must then carry the province forward.
Aren't you worried, like 7 people contesting for one position? You guys have been talking about unity. The Northwest Province seen as one of the most ununited, ANC provinces in the country. Aren't you worried that, looking at this interdicts, people contesting that, this is sending sort of a wrong message in terms of what you guys believe in when you talk about unity?
ANC is a democratic organization, and I think this gives you a clear understanding that even branches were not necessarily guided. They express themselves on who do they prefer. And at this point, we don't know whether indeed 7 candidates exist, because that process, nobody has an insight. It was run by an independent body, and only when they present, we will know that indeed there are 7 candidates. But what we know is that branches have been nominating, and we will hear from the outcome, because it's an independent process. Once they present, we will know in terms of its outcome, and also branches will have an opportunity to still express a view. If the view that is in the electoral, that is from the branch nomination, is not satisfactory, they will still have an opportunity to express themselves. And for us, it's democracy in its action. Unity does not mean that democracy must be suppressed. So, but also it demonstrates that branches were not guided into a particular slate, as people will always see that ANC will normally have different slates to 1 or 2 and so on. So it is important that we must allow branches to express themselves, delegates to express themselves, and to demonstrate that we are truly a democratic organization.
Thank you so much. Flo, that was Kinetswe Mosenugi, one of the contenders for chairmanship here, saying that he's quite confident, he's happy that the conference is about to kickstart. As we've shown you there, those are visions of delegates that are starting to make their way here to start with proceedings here. Like I said earlier, we know that the Deputy President of the ANC is already here, so any moment from now, as soon as the delegates come into this venue, then only then will the conference, the opening of the conference start. With that being said, Flo, it's back to you in studio.
All right, many thanks to you.